You didn't realize it at the time, but when you clicked on this link, you made the best decision you're gonna make all day. No, not really. I can't back that up. It's just a review of a laser level, but it looks pretty freaking cool, and I think you're gonna like it. I bought this little laser level about 7 years ago, and it was just on a whim. Like, I'd seen them on Amazon 1,000 times and thought, what the hell? It was pretty cheap, 50 bucks or something like that. I can't tell you how much I've used this thing. From everything from just hanging pictures on a wall that you want to have all the same, to putting the lighting up on the ceiling of my shop, putting up the trusses, putting up the walls. Just as a double check, it's so easy to slap this thing on the ground somewhere and just know that the line is projected straight. It's a very handy tool for little jobs like that. But it doesn't do everything, and it definitely has some shortfalls. Batteries drain in this when it's off in about a week. For some reason, it has some parasitic drain and it just chews them up. Every time I go to get it, batteries are dead. The second problem with it is it's not bright. You can use it indoors and it's fine. Using it outdoors during any part of the day, including sundown, it's basically useless. You just can't see it. It's not a strong laser. And the third drawback is it's just this. So it doesn't communicate with anything else. It's your eyes and this. Now, comparing this to this Dovoh, it's like comparing a bicycle to a fully dressed Harley. There is no comparison. They're in two completely different ballparks. But my point in bringing this to the table is you're gonna find way more uses for this than you ever would have expected to when you initially bought it, or for whatever the project is you're currently doing. Once you have it, it makes life a lot easier. The case alone on this is actually pretty phenomenal. It's a hard shell case. Even the latches are nice. They've even got a little locking feature on there, a little tab you have to release to prevent it from accidentally opening. Really nice. Woo-wee. I can promise you, once this gets delivered, you don't feel like you got ripped off. There is a lot going on here. You're getting a lot for your money. They include a set of sunglasses, which, as you can see, make you pretty irresistible to women. They also do a nice job of showing the laser on a sunny day. Just helps that contrast a little bit if you need it. The power of this guy, 110 milliwatts.
Frickin' laser beams!
You're probably not gonna need them, but it's great that they do include them. The laser unit itself is extremely impressive. It is PA6 reinforced fiber, reinforced plastic, so it's got, you know, that nice tool feel to it, a heavy duty tool. We have three 360-degree lasers on all three axes. USB-C charging port, which is nice. Drop-in batteries, of which obviously battery is included. It's a lithium-ion battery pack, and actually you get two of them, so no downtime. This will run all day on just one, but you get two. Two AA batteries power the other piece of equipment in here, which is the remote receiver for that. That's phenomenal. We'll get into that. Includes a swivel base, which is really cool for fine details, because you got to remember, you're going to be projecting, in some cases, hundreds of feet out. The slightest move of that laser is going to move the projected laser a foot, 2 feet. So they give you this mount, which threads into the base of this, and then you have this fine dial adjustment that, I don't know if, yeah, you can see that. You see it swinging it. It allows you to really dial in the exact perfect setting that you need when you project it out at a long distance. Of course, it comes with one of these. I have no idea what it is, but we'll find out. Naturally, it includes one of these, which again, I don't know what that's for, but we'll find out. Charger for those batteries. I have gone through a fair amount of documentation, very helpful documentation that is included with it. I'm going to rate this about an 8.5 on an English to Chinglish scale. Very comprehensible translation. They did a very good job with these. The owner's manual for a hammer, probably not that important, but on something like this, you really do want a good, well-translated manual that makes sense. So no problems there, which is good. So let's get this girl fired up. You get your crosshair, but rather than it just emitting from the front, meaning everything behind this is nothing, I can now get measurements on both sides. So I can put this thing in the middle of a room and you've got all three axes covered. In fact, it's actually aiming back at you. How'd you like some green laser? That can't be good for my for my camera sensor. But yeah, the power of having 3 lasers on this thing is pretty damn impressive. The receiver is quite an interesting little piece of technology on its own here. It makes a huge, huge difference, and this is a nice one. So we have our laser receiving area here. You have an LCD on the front, and you have an LCD on the back. For buttons on the front here, we've got a power, a mode switch, and a sound button, because this will give you tones as you get closer and closer and closer to the level that you're looking for. And they really have thought of everything. We got a bubble level on the top. We got magnets up here so you can just attach it to something. And of course the slots, which I assume are for some of those brackets on the back. They actually backlit the LCD on both sides. That's pretty friggin' cool. Important note here is you can run multiple versions of these throughout. Like if you had a big job site, you aren't just stuck with one. You could put 50 of these out there. Party trick number 1 is this is tuned to a specific frequency of that light being emitted. With that frequency off, nothing happens. It doesn't drive you crazy. It just sits here waiting for its signal. But when I hit this button, it actually flashes that laser at such a high frequency I can't see it, but this recognizes it and starts to beep. On the screen of this little guy, it is now telling me to bring this up. There's arrows. Oh, I went too high. Now we gotta go back down. Boom, dead level. What makes this a real party trick is I can set this thing up in the middle of the desert at high noon, the brightest situation you can imagine. Even if I can't see the laser, this can, because it's looking for that pulse frequency. This will stay quiet if it can't see a signal, but as long as your laser is somewhere in this, I'm gonna say 5-inch range, it's gonna start beeping and the screen is gonna tell you whether you need to go up or down. In order for me to show you that in action, I have to spin it around so that this can see the laser. And that's where the back screen comes in handy, so that no matter your orientation, it wants me to go up. We're level. If I'm off a little bit, I get 1 arrow. If I keep going off, I get multiple arrows. Very handy. And then keep in mind, I could be doing this as far as 400 feet away from that unit in the middle of the day, and it's gonna see it. This funky little bracket I showed you earlier is what mounts to, oh, fit and finish is really good on this stuff. It mounts to our receiver, and now we have a rubber foot adjustable clamp-on base. I already know what you're thinking, but Tom, it's great that it has all that range, but I don't want to have to walk 400 feet back and forth every time I need to turn it on or turn it off. Well, they got you covered. We have a radio frequency remote, so not line of sight. We can control and command whatever we want from anywhere. We have the toy, but then we also have all the accessories for that toy that make it really awesome, all in one package. They did a really good job. Actually, I spent the last couple of minutes here taking a closer look at the mount that they included. I mean, there's just a lot going on here. You've got a steel plate with a ton of magnets. This thing is not coming off metal. Yeah. Oh, she's good. I mean, you're gonna be able to yeah, stick that thing absolutely anywhere. I mean, that's impressive. You've got, holy cow, that's strong. And again, like all of the other bracketry, once you have it, you've got all kinds of nice fine adjustments that you can, there's a little cam lock here to lock it in place. If you have a tripod you want to run this off of, that just closes back up, and now we've got a screw in for a tripod. There's a little keyhole here for hanging it off of a wall. So you've got thumb screws here to clamp it onto a bar or something like that. There's just a lot of options. Handy for running conduit, even when there's a beam in the middle. Leveling pictures. Leveling multiple mirrors. All at once, across multiple walls. Shooting those clips down here in the laundry room, and I cannot get over how friggin' legible everything is. Like, this thing's painting a whole bunch of lines right now, and they all look phenomenal. How about installing drop ceilings for the win? With the amount of laser coverage and how legible and bright it is, I mean, it's bright down here, and these lasers are sticking out like a sore thumb, But when you're hanging ceilings, it's so nice to have that, because you'd run into something like this, to have it match up with the other line, which you can see obviously I didn't do. But it allows you to do stuff like that without having to put a lot of thought in or calculations. You just set that thing up and let it run all day while you're hanging a ceiling, and you'll have dead straight lines everywhere you go. Ironically, I used that little green laser I showed you at the beginning of the video to install these LED lights in the shop, because they're very long, obviously, and if they're not straight, it's very obvious. Unfortunately, I didn't have the Dovoh, and I had to do the whole thing in the dark in here, climbing a ladder, and it was dark, because otherwise I couldn't see the line. As you can see, not a problem, even with insanely intense LED lights. See, the big reason to get one of these is to make sure that your water stays level. You don't want water that doesn't maintain its own level, so this will definitely do that for you. Look at this, out in the daylight, I can still see the laser through the fountain. I mean, that's kooky. It's a beautiful morning here in the front yard, and I have a little project coming up, maybe this fall, where I want to put a little hydroelectric power plant, I guess you'd call it, but it's very small. We're talking like probably 200 watts or so, if that, from this creek. So I have our Dovoh laser unit set up on just a standard camera tripod. I'm going to link obviously everything in the description for what I use in case you want to match that up. And we have this sitting 5 feet above the intake for that drain. And now we're going to go about 120 feet or so across the driveway to check the level. I need to know what the drop is from this side to the other side where I'm going to have a little water wheel set up. I never in a million years would have thought that it's this high. Here we are. On this side of the yard, we are measuring 8 foot 6 inches. So we just deduct the 5 feet from the tripod on that side. And we now know we have 3 feet and 6 inches of drop across this yard. I am sure there are other ways to do this, but there's nothing as easy as this. Love it. Here's another great example. We're about 150 feet away, can't really even see the tripod, and obviously in direct sunlight now we're not gonna be able to see the laser. However, our little friend can. Where are you? There you are. Go up a little, up too much, perfectly level. So what's the verdict? I don't know. You got to see it. You make the call. I think it's phenomenal. I tried to show you, the more common uses and the things that I've done with my little one that pales in comparison to this. Let me know what you think. Throw them down in the comments, or some ideas and uses for these things that I haven't thought of for those of you that may already have one. I think Dovoh's done a really nice job with this. As always, everybody, any comments, questions, concerns, and or criticisms, throw them down in the comment section below me. Otherwise, everyone have a great day.